Hey everybody, it's Josh Brooker, the owner of TE Certified, and I'm here to talk about GFCI outlets. GFCI outlets are the devices that we use to protect homeowners from electrical shock. These devices have been around for a long time. They were first introduced in the early 70s, and they've been required by the National Electric Code for a long time. They're required in kitchens, bathrooms, garages, laundry rooms, basements, any area in the home where a homeowner might come in contact with electricity and water. Anytime you have water or concrete floors, tiles, sinks, it increases the possibility that a homeowner could become electrocuted. So we have GFCI outlets, and the way they work is they monitor the electricity coming into the outlet, and then they monitor the electricity coming back to the outlet. And we can do this because electricity runs in a circuit. Now, if any electricity were to leak out and not return back to its path, we know there's a ground fault. The electricity is taking another path back to the source, and that path could be through a person. And if that happens, your GFI is going to trip. And it looks like this. You might get a red indicator light on your GFI that's going to tell you that the GFI is tripped. If you have a GFI that's tripped, all you do is simply walk up and hit the reset button. Now, a tripped GFI doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong with the GFI. It could be something wrong with what's plugged into it, and the GFI could be doing its job. So if you have an appliance like an old refrigerator or an extension cord that has a rip in it, or maybe a power tool that is faulty or was damaged, your GFI might sense that and trip. If you are unable to get your GFI to reset, then of course you want to reach out to an electrician so we can take a look at it. Now, if you have some outlets in a basement or in a garage or in a kitchen or a bathroom that aren't working, that aren't a GFI typed outlet, you still want to make sure all the GFCIs in that area are reset, because sometimes an electrician will run a GFI and then have several outlets downstream that are powered by that same GFI, so we can have multiple GFI protected outlets. So if you have an issue with an outlet in a garage, kitchen, bathroom, you're going to want to look for any GFI outlets and make sure they're reset. GFIs come in lots of different styles. Obviously they come in different colors, but the way you know it's a GFI is by the fact it says GFI, and then of course it will have a test and reset button on it. If you have a question about your GFI or you want GFIs in your home, reach out to TE Certified. So GFI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter, and all that means is that this device will interrupt the power if it senses a ground fault. Now, a ground fault typically indicates that power is not being returned back to the source, and of course, if the power is not coming back to the source, we're afraid it might be going through somebody. So GFCI simply stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter, and its goal is to cut off power anytime there's a ground fault. You'll know it's a GFI because it will say GFCI on the actual device, but you'll also see a test button and a reset button.